You are not tired because life is hard. You are tired because you keep handing your peace to people who have no discipline over their own minds. You are tired because you keep trying to explain truth to people who are not looking for truth. You are tired because you keep bringing reason into rooms ruled by ego, emotion, pride, insecurity, noise, and performance. And the painful part is this. You think your intelligence is helping you, but many times it is the very thing making you suffer, because the intelligent person believes that clarity should be enough. You believe that if you explain something properly, the other person will understand. You believe that if you present the facts calmly, they will adjust their opinion. You believe that if you bring logic, patience, and evidence, the conversation will move closer to truth. But Stoicism teaches a harder lesson. Not every mind wants truth. Some people want victory. Some people want attention. Some people want to protect their ego. Some people want to hear their own voice echoed back to them. And some people would rather defend a foolish opinion for 10 years than admit they were wrong for 10 seconds. This is where the intelligent person suffers, not because they lack knowledge, but because they keep expecting undisciplined minds to behave like disciplined minds. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. Every morning, he reminded himself that he would meet difficult people, the arrogant, the ungrateful, the dishonest, the jealous, the irrational, the rude. He did not say this because he hated humanity. He said it because he wanted to prepare his soul before the world touched it. That is the first Stoic lesson. Do not enter the day expecting everyone to be reasonable. Expect people to be people. Expect ego. Expect confusion. Expect noise. Expect pride. Expect emotional thinking dressed as wisdom. And when it appears, do not be surprised. The fool gains power over you only when you expected him to be wise. The irrational person disturbs you only when you expected reason from them. The arrogant person exhausts you only when you believe humility should naturally appear in every human being. It will not. So today, we are not going to talk about how to defeat foolish people by becoming cruel. We are going to talk about something far more powerful. How to protect your mind. How to stop wasting your energy. How to remain calm when surrounded by noise. How to deal with foolishness without becoming foolish yourself. Because the greatest danger is not that foolish people exist. The greatest danger is that by fighting them wrongly, you slowly become like them. You become reactive. You become bitter. You become obsessed with proving yourself. You become addicted to correction. You lose silence. You lose depth. You lose your inner citadel. And that is too high a price to pay. So listen carefully. Because once you understand this, you will stop entering every argument like a soldier trying to win a war. You will begin moving like a Stoic, calm, precise, detached, unshaken, and difficult to control. Principle 1. Stop expecting wisdom from undisciplined minds. The first mistake intelligent people make is believing that everyone secretly respects truth. They do not. Many people respect comfort more than truth. Many respect pride more than truth. Many respect belonging more than truth. Many respect being seen as right more than actually becoming right. This is why arguments often feel insane. You explain something clearly. You show the contradiction. You point out the facts. You bring examples. You slow down. You simplify. And still, the other person doubles down. They do not pause. They do not reflect. They do not say, maybe I should reconsider. Instead, they become louder, more defensive, more confident, more committed to the very thing you just exposed. And you sit there wondering, how can they not see it? But the Stoic does not ask that question for long. The Stoic understands that the mind is not automatically loyal to truth. The mind is often loyal to identity. When a person has attached their ego to an opinion, correcting the opinion feels to them like an attack on their existence. You think you are challenging an idea. They feel you are challenging their worth. You think you are offering light. They feel you are bringing fire. So they defend themselves, not because they are right, but because they are afraid. Epictetus taught that people are disturbed not by things, but by their judgments about things. A foolish person is not merely reacting to your words. They are reacting to what your words mean inside their distorted judgment. To you, correction means improvement. To them, correction means humiliation. To you, a better argument is a path to clarity. To them, a better argument is a threat to dominance. So stop being shocked. When an undisciplined mind meets truth, it does not always bow. Sometimes it fights. Sometimes it mocks. Sometimes it changes the subject. Sometimes it attacks your character. Sometimes it pretends not to understand. Sometimes it becomes offended. This is not new. This is human nature without training. The Stoic response is not rage, it is recognition. You say to yourself, this person is not ready for reason. And once you see that, your strategy changes. You stop trying to build a temple on sand. You stop pouring water into a broken cup. You stop wasting sacred energy on someone who has no intention of using it well. That is not arrogance. That is discernment. And discernment is one of the quiet forms of wisdom. Principle 2. Do not let their chaos become your emotion. There is a moment in every argument where your body tells you the truth before your mouth does. Your chest tightens. Your breathing changes. Your jaw locks. Your mind begins preparing weapons. You feel the urge to correct, to expose, to dominate, to prove. This is the dangerous moment, because this is where the foolish person begins to control you, not by defeating your argument, but by disturbing your inner state. The Stoic does not measure victory by whether the other person admits defeat. The Stoic measures victory by whether he remains master of himself. If someone says something foolish and you lose control of your emotions, who is the fool now? If someone speaks nonsense and you sacrifice your peace to respond to it, who has power? If someone provokes you into anger and you obey, are you truly free? Marcus Aurelius wrote again and again about the need to return inward, not because the world was peaceful, but because it was not. He ruled among politics, betrayal, sickness, war, ambition, and human pettiness. He did not have the luxury of a calm environment, so he built a calm center. This is what you must do. When someone speaks foolishly, pause. Do not rush to correct. Do not let your face betray your soul. Do not let your heartbeat become their instrument. Say inwardly, this belongs to them. My response belongs to me. That sentence is a shield. Their ignorance belongs to them. Their pride belongs to them. Their lack of discipline belongs to them. Their confusion belongs to them. But your peace belongs to you. Your restraint belongs to you. Your silence belongs to you. Your next word belongs to you. This is the dichotomy of control applied to conversation. You cannot control whether they understand. You cannot control whether they respect truth. You cannot control whether they misrepresent you. You cannot control whether they mock your intelligence. But you can control whether you become a puppet in their theater. And many intelligent people are puppets. The strings are invisible, but they are there. The string of pride, the string of needing to be right, the string of wanting to be admired, the string of wanting the fool to finally say, you are correct. Cut those strings. You do not need a foolish person to certify your wisdom. You do not need an irrational mind to validate your clarity. You do not need every room to understand you. A mountain does not explain its height to the valley. It simply stands. Principle 3. Stop debating people who are not seeking truth. There are two kinds of conversation. One is a search for truth. The other is a contest for ego. They may look the same from the outside. Both may involve words. Both may involve arguments. Both may involve raised voices and strong claims. But inwardly, they are completely different. In a search for truth, both people are willing to be changed. In an ego contest, both people are trying to remain untouched. The intelligent person must learn to tell the difference quickly. Because if you treat an ego contest like a search for truth, you will bleed energy. You will present your best reasoning to someone who is not listening. You will answer objections that were not sincere. You will clarify points that were intentionally misunderstood. You will keep moving the conversation toward truth while they keep moving it toward victory. This is how you become exhausted. Seneca warned against spending life in useless disputes. Time is too short. The soul is too valuable. Attention is too expensive. Before you enter any serious disagreement, ask yourself, is this person capable of changing their mind? Have they ever admitted error? Are they asking questions or only making speeches? Are they responding to what I said or to what they wish I said? Is truth the goal here or dominance? If the answer is dominance, leave. Not always physically. Sometimes you leave internally. You stop feeding the fire. You give short answers. You let the argument die from lack of oxygen. You say, I understand your point. You say, that is one way to see it. You say, we may not agree on this. You say, let us leave it there. To the ego, this feels like defeat. To the Stoic, this is victory. Because you preserved the only thing that mattered, your command over yourself. The world will pressure you to keep explaining. Your pride will pressure you to keep correcting. Your intelligence will whisper, just one more point, just one more example, just one more fact. But wisdom will say, enough. And the ability to say enough is one of the highest forms of strength. Principle 4. Use silence as a weapon of peace. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not ignorance. Silence is not surrender. Silence is sometimes the most disciplined answer available. Many foolish people feed on reaction. Your irritation gives them importance. Your correction gives them status. Your long explanation gives them a stage. Your anger gives them proof that they have power over you. So deny them the feast. Remain silent, not with bitterness, not with passive aggression, not with hidden hatred, but with clean detachment. The Stoic silence says, I do not need to attend every argument I am invited to. I do not need to correct every falsehood spoken near me. I do not need to spend my life rescuing people from the consequences of their own thinking. There is a great freedom in this. At first, silence feels uncomfortable because the ego wants closure. The ego wants the final word. The ego wants the room to know you were right. But ask yourself, what has the final word really given you? How many times have you won an argument and still felt empty? How many times have you proven your point and still lost your peace? How many times have you corrected someone only to realize they enjoyed the conflict more than they valued the truth? Silence ends the transaction. It tells your nervous system, we are not spending life here. The wise man is not the one who can answer every fool. The wise man is the one who knows which fools deserve no answer. Epictetus said that if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish by others. This is difficult for intelligent people, because intelligent people hate being misunderstood. But Stoicism demands the courage to be misunderstood without being disturbed. Let them think you had no answer. Let them think they won. Let them think your silence was weakness. Their interpretation is outside your control. Your discipline is inside it. Protect what is yours. Release what is not. Principle 5. Do not seek validation from the unwise one. Of the hidden weaknesses of intelligent people is the desire to be recognized by everyone, even by people they do not respect, even by people whose judgment is poor, even by people who have never demonstrated wisdom. This is a strange form of slavery. Why do you need the foolish person to admit you are right? Why do you need the arrogant person to acknowledge your depth? Why do you need the confused person to understand your clarity? Why do you need applause from a room that cannot recognize value? This need is not intelligence. It is hunger, and hunger makes people easy to control. The Stoic trains himself to desire only what is worthy: virtue, clarity, discipline, good action, a clean conscience, a stable mind. If your peace depends on the approval of unstable people, then your peace will always be unstable. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself how quickly human praise disappears. The praised and the praiser both pass away. The opinions of people shift like smoke. So why build your identity on smoke? If you know you have acted with reason, restraint, and integrity, that is enough. Not because feedback is useless. Wise feedback matters. Correction matters. But not all correction is equal. The judgment of a disciplined person can sharpen you. The judgment of a foolish person can only distract you. Learn the difference. Do not reject all criticism. Reject unqualified criticism. Do not become arrogant. Become selective. A doctor does not take medical advice from a drunk man shouting in the street. An architect does not rebuild a structure because a child dislikes the shape of the wall. A Stoic does not abandon his inner order because an undisciplined person misunderstands him. Be humble before truth. Be unmoved by noise. Principle 6. Keep your intelligence hidden until it is useful. There is a childish form of intelligence that always needs to display itself. It corrects every mistake. It completes every sentence. It proves every point. It announces itself in every room. But mature intelligence is quieter. It does not need to shine constantly. It waits. It observes. It speaks when speech serves a purpose. It remains silent when silence is stronger. This is especially important when dealing with foolish people who have power. A foolish person without power may be annoying. A foolish person with power can be dangerous. If an insecure person holds authority and you openly expose their weakness, they may not become grateful. They may become hostile. They may not attack your argument. They may attack your character. They may call you difficult, arrogant, disrespectful, not a team player, too negative, too independent, too proud. Why? Because your intelligence has become a mirror, and insecure people often hate mirrors. Stoicism does not ask you to be naive, it asks you to be wise. And wisdom sometimes means restraint. Do not display every strength in every environment. Do not reveal every thought to every person. Do not correct someone powerful merely because you can. Ask, what is the objective? What outcome matters here? Will speaking truth now produce improvement, or only unnecessary conflict? Is this the right time? Is this the right person? Is this my duty? There is courage in speaking. There is also courage in waiting. The Stoic is not a coward, but he is not reckless. He understands that truth without timing can become self-sabotage, so he carries his intelligence like a concealed blade, not to harm others, but to protect his purpose. He does not wave it around for applause. He uses it when virtue, duty, and necessity require it. That is maturity. Principle 7. Create distance without hatred. You cannot avoid foolish people completely. They may be co-workers, clients, neighbors, relatives, online strangers, leaders, sometimes even people you love. So the answer is not always physical escape. Sometimes the answer is internal distance. Schopenhauer had his porcupine dilemma: creatures coming close for warmth, then hurting one another with their quills, then separating, then returning again. Stoicism understands this tension. We are social beings, but closeness without wisdom can wound the soul. The intelligent person must learn proper distance. Not hatred, not contempt, distance. You can be kind without being available for every argument. You can be polite without being emotionally open. You can listen without absorbing. You can respond without revealing your full self. You can love someone without giving them access to your inner citadel. This is a difficult lesson for good-hearted people. They think boundaries are cruelty. They think distance is pride. They think refusing to engage is unkind. But what is the alternative? To let every chaotic person enter your mind? To let every irrational conversation disturb your sleep? To let every foolish opinion become a battle? No, that is not kindness. That is self-abandonment. Stoic distance is clean. It says, I do not hate you, but I will not let your disorder become my disorder. I do not despise you, but I will not hand you the key to my peace. I do not need to defeat you, but I will not be consumed by you. This is how you remain human without becoming drained. Compassion with boundaries, patience with limits, presence without surrender. That is Stoic strength. Principle 8. Guard your mental diet. The mind becomes like what it repeatedly consumes. If you spend your days in shallow arguments, your mind becomes shallow. If you spend your days among angry people, your emotions become infected. If you spend your days listening to foolishness, eventually your inner world begins to echo it. This is why mental diet matters. Seneca warned that we are shaped by the people and ideas we live among. A weak environment slowly lowers the standard of the soul. You may think you are only observing foolishness, but your mind is not untouched by what it constantly encounters. Every argument leaves residue. Every pointless debate drains attention. Every exposure to noise reduces depth. Every emotional conflict consumes energy that could have built your future. Your attention is not unlimited. Your patience is not unlimited. Your creative power is not unlimited. Your life is not unlimited. Memento mori. Remember death. Not to become dark, but to become serious. Every hour spent arguing with someone committed to misunderstanding you is an hour you never get back. Every night spent replaying a foolish conversation is a night stolen from your restoration. Every day spent proving yourself to the wrong people is a day not spent becoming stronger. So guard your mind. Reduce exposure to unnecessary conflict. Do not scroll through outrage for entertainment. Do not enter comment wars with strangers. Do not keep explaining yourself to people who benefit from misunderstanding you. Do not make your soul a public road for every passing opinion. The Stoic mind is a temple. Not everyone may enter. Principle 9. Let their absurdity reveal itself. Sometimes silence is enough. Sometimes distance is enough. But there are moments when you must respond. In those moments, do not always attack the foolish idea directly. Often, direct attack makes the other person defensive. Instead, calmly ask questions. Let the idea walk to its own conclusion. Foolishness often survives because it remains vague. It sounds strong in general terms, but when forced into detail, it begins to collapse. Ask, what would that look like in practice? What would happen if everyone did that? How would we measure whether that is true? What would change your mind? What is the next step after that? Can you explain how that works? Do not ask with sarcasm. Ask with calm. A foolish idea often cannot survive contact with its own consequences. This is not manipulation. It is disciplined inquiry. Socrates used questions to reveal contradiction. The Stoic uses questions to preserve peace. Instead of spending 10 minutes giving a lecture, ask one precise question and remain silent. Let them hear themselves. Let the weakness of the idea become visible without your anger decorating it. The moment you become angry, they can focus on your tone. But when you remain calm, the idea stands naked. Many times, the conversation will end naturally. They may change the subject. They may become vague. They may retreat. They may laugh. They may accuse you of overthinking. Let it happen. You are not there to force conversion. You are there to avoid becoming a servant of nonsense. Principle 10. Stop trying to rescue people from themselves. This is painful, but necessary. Some people are not confused because no one explained the truth. They are confused because confusion protects them. Their foolishness gives them comfort. Their excuses protect their pride. Their victimhood protects them from responsibility. Their anger protects them from self-examination. Their certainty protects them from fear. And if you try to remove that protection before they are ready, they will see you as the enemy. You think you are helping, they feel attacked. You think you are offering freedom, they feel exposed. This is why you must stop trying to rescue people who are committed to their prison. Epictetus would say your task is not to control another person's moral progress. Your task is to govern your own. You can offer truth. You cannot force digestion. You can be an example. You cannot become another person's conscience. You can speak once with clarity. You do not need to speak forever. There is a form of empathy that becomes arrogance. It says, I know what this person needs, and I will drag them there. But Stoicism teaches humility. You are not the ruler of another soul. You are responsible for your own. This does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop confusing care with control. Let people meet the consequences of their patterns. Let them learn at the speed life teaches them. Let them walk their path, even if you can see the stones ahead. And protect yourself from being dragged by someone who refuses to stand. You can love a person and still refuse to carry their foolishness. Principle 11. Choose outcomes over arguments. The world glorifies debate, sharp words, public victories, destroyed opponents, perfect replies. But Stoicism asks a different question. What did you actually accomplish? Did the argument improve your character? Did it serve justice? Did it protect someone? Did it clarify truth where truth was genuinely being sought? Did it move life forward? Or did it only feed pride? Many intelligent people are addicted to intellectual theater. They enjoy the feeling of dismantling bad arguments. They enjoy the superiority. They enjoy being sharper, quicker, more informed. But after the argument ends, what has changed? The foolish person remains foolish. The audience believes what it already believed. Your nervous system is disturbed. Your time is gone. Your work is delayed. Your soul is noisier. What did you win? The Stoic does not play for applause. The Stoic plays for virtue, for duty, for results, for inner freedom. If speaking serves the outcome, speak. If silence serves the outcome, be silent. If walking away serves the outcome, walk away. If asking questions serves the outcome, ask. If kindness serves the outcome, be kind. If firmness serves the outcome, be firm. Do not be attached to the performance of intelligence. Be attached to wisdom. Intelligence wants to be seen. Wisdom wants to be effective. Intelligence says, I must prove I am right. Wisdom says, I must do what is right. There is a difference, and that difference separates the restless mind from the Stoic mind. Principle 12. Return to the inner citadel. After all this, The deepest lesson is not about foolish people. It is about you. Foolish people are only the training ground. They reveal where you are still reactive. They reveal where your ego still needs applause. They reveal where your peace still depends on being understood. They reveal where your intelligence has not yet matured into wisdom. So be grateful for the training. Amor fati. Love even this material. The difficult co-worker, the arrogant relative, the loud stranger, the online fool, the insecure superior, the person who misunderstands you on purpose. Each one is an opportunity to practice patience, silence, discernment, emotional control, humility, distance, courage. Every time you remain calm, you strengthen the inner citadel. Every time you refuse a useless argument, you strengthen the inner citadel. Every time you let someone be wrong without needing to correct them, you strengthen the inner citadel. Every time you choose peace over pride, you strengthen the inner citadel. The goal is not to become cold. The goal is to become free. Free from the need to answer every fool. Free from the need to be understood by everyone. Free from the need to win every conversation. Free from the emotional control of undisciplined minds. This is Stoic power, not domination over others, dominion over yourself. Because the person who can provoke you controls you. The person whose opinion you need owns you. The person whose foolishness disturbs your peace has entered your citadel. Close the gate, stand guard, return inward. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you can retreat into yourself at any time, and nowhere is more peaceful than the soul that has put itself in order. That is where you must live, not in the noise, not in the argument, not in the judgment of fools, but inside the ordered soul. Let fools be fools, but do not become one. You clicked on this because you are tired. Tired of explaining, tired of arguing, tired of being misunderstood, tired of watching confidence replace competence, tired of seeing foolishness speak loudly while wisdom remains quiet. But now you know the truth. Your task is not to fix every foolish person. Your task is not to correct every false belief. Your task is not to prove your intelligence to people who cannot recognize it. Your task is to protect your mind, to discipline your response, to choose your battles, to guard your attention, to remain useful, calm, and strong in a world that often rewards noise. Let foolish people argue for dominance. You pursue truth. Let them chase applause. You build character. Let them speak without thinking. You think before speaking. Let them mistake your silence for weakness. You know it is discipline. Let them believe they have won. You keep your peace. Because in the end, the greatest victory is not defeating a foolish person in conversation. The greatest victory is refusing to become foolish in response. That is Stoicism. That is strength. That is the path. So here is your practice. For the next 7 days, do not enter one useless argument. Not one. When provoked, pause. When misunderstood, breathe. When tempted to prove yourself, return to the inner citadel. Then come back and tell me what changed. And if this message spoke to you, subscribe to Stoic Path. This is not a place for empty motivation. This is a path for those who want discipline, clarity, emotional control, and a mind that cannot be easily ruled by the noise of the world. Comment below the principle you will practice first. Silence, detachment, control, discernment, or inner peace. Choose one, practice it, and remember, a fool can waste your time only if you hand it over. A fool can disturb your peace only if you open the gate. Guard the gate, walk the path, and let your wisdom become stronger than their noise.